My name is Helen Johnston, and I look after the recruitment for the Tech Apprenticeship programs. So I work for a company called FIT, which stands for Fast Track into Information Technology. And we run 3 apprenticeship programs, network engineering, software development, and cybersecurity. So a little bit about who we are as a company and what is involved in doing an apprenticeship program, and then how you can apply for the program, okay? So I'm just going to share my screen with you guys now. Okay. I hope everyone can see that. So just to give you a bit of information about FIT. So FIT, we've been around for about 20 years. We're a non-profit organisation. We're actually a registered charity. And we were created initially to upskill unemployed people in the area of IT. And we still do that to a large extent. But in 2015, we started a pilot program of apprenticeship programs. And then in 2018, we started our first official apprenticeship programs. At that time, we only started with 2. So we started with network engineering and software development. And our first program started in August 2018. We then started our first cybersecurity program in September 2019. So although we have some graduates now, we won't have any cybersecurity graduates until this September 2021. So that just tells you how new this program is. But FIT, again, as an organisation, we're all about upskilling people in the area of IT. So FIT's mission is to promote an inclusive smart economy by creating routes to marketable technical skills for job seekers and career changers wishing to pursue quality professions in Ireland's thriving digital economy. And I just want to say from the outset, again, while we do have an emphasis on upskilling unemployed people, the Tech Apprenticeship program is open to anyone who's eligible for the program. You do not have to be unemployed. Okay, so we are the national coordinating providers for these 3 programs. Again, network engineering, software development, and cybersecurity. What that means is that we create the curriculum. So as a charitable organisation, as a non-profit, we have a board of directors. And on our board of directors would be a lot of the big IT companies that would have a base in Ireland. So companies like Microsoft, SAP, IBM, those kind of companies would have a presence on our board. In fact, I think we've just added Amazon to our board. So we work with those companies, and we work with other companies that have IT departments, and basically we do research with them, and we're trying to find out where they are struggling to find staff at an entry level in IT. And we create our curriculum based on what they tell us the industry is looking for. Once the curriculum is then created, we obviously recruit the apprentices in, which is part of what I'm doing here today. We also have a tech team. So it's not a case where people go out and find their own employer. We have a placement team who goes out and gets employers to come on board and take apprentices. A little bit later on, I'll show you a list that's not actually up to date, but it's got a good few companies on there to give you an idea of how many companies are involved in the process. But we then, when the course starts, we're then responsible for looking after the course and make sure everything runs smoothly. But what we don't do is we don't do the training. The training is done through the ETB, so the Education and Training Boards. That means in essence that all of our programs are generally taught in either an ETB training centre, what used to be FOSS training centres, or in PLC colleges. We're currently recruiting for programs, a number of programs in Dublin, Cork, Kerry, Athlone, and Dundalk. So just to be aware that it's not a case of Dublin centred. We are running programs all over the country. And if you look on our website, or even if you visit the stand today, you'll see some of the courses that we are currently recruiting for. And you can obviously ask me any questions at that point as well. So what you get out of this program is you get, there's Sitting Guilds qualifications. So it's an advanced certificate level. It's a level 6. So it's a further education level. So we're all about training people up to a further education level. Our whole mantra is that you don't need a degree to work in IT. The courses are very practical. And obviously, because it's an apprenticeship program, there is a workplace element, which I'll talk about now in a minute. And you get to put into practice what you're learning in the classroom. So qualifications wise, what you get out of it is you get City and Guilds qualifications, you get industry certification, and it's QQI certified at level 6 as well. Okay, so you get a lot of certification coming out of it. So the structure of the apprenticeship program, so it's 24 months, okay? So we say 2 years, but just so that it's clear in your head, it's not 2 academic years, like September till summer, and then you start the following September. You actually sign a contract with your employer at the beginning, at the very, beginning of the program for 24 months. So you are technically a trainee employee with the company for 24 months. And the breakdown is for the first 6 months, you're training full-time. So you're in full-time training. Again, you're still with the company is still paying you. Then for the next 12 months after that, from month 7 to month 18, you're in training 3 days per week, or you're in work 3 days a week, and you're in training 2 days per week. And then for the last 6 months, you're in work 4 days a week and you're only training 1 day a week. So it's like it starts training heavy, and then you start going into when you start going into the company, you're in the company most of the time, to the point where by the end, you're only training 1 day a week and you're working with the company most of the time. So there's no cost to participants to do this program. It is, if you are eligible to do the program, it is free to do. It's funded by Solace. Obviously, you get a payment, which I'll talk about in a second, because it is an apprenticeship. It's an earn and learn program. So the eligibility criteria is you have to be at least 18 years of age to apply. We have quite a wide age range of applicants, anywhere from 18 to probably about mid-50s. So there is quite a wide range of ages, not just for people who are just out of school. Education-wise, you have to have completed your Leaving Cert, and that means have passed 5 subjects at ordinary level or higher. They have to include maths and English. So just be aware that eligibility-wise, if you did foundation maths or English or failed maths or English, you won't be eligible for this program. Now, that's only if the Leaving Cert is the highest level of education you've achieved to date. If you've achieved a higher level of education, QQI level 5 full award or higher, like a degree or a diploma, then it doesn't matter what you got in your Leaving Cert, you've already attained a higher level of education. And then attitude. So we're looking for motivated tech enthusiasts with an aptitude and a positive attitude to work in the ICT sector. All we mean by that is we have to sell you to a company. So we are looking for people who have a demonstrated interest in the subject. If it's network engineering, we're looking for people who've maybe built their own computer, or fixed computers. If it's software development, we're looking for people who've, dabbled in coding. And I don't mean 10 years ago. I mean, this is a recent thing that you're into right now. And cybersecurity, we're looking for people who've maybe tried a bit of ethical hacking or something like that, and are particularly interested in cybersecurity. And then the last thing there is you must be an EU citizen or hold a stamp 4 visa to be eligible, okay? If you hold a 1G visa, and it's because you completed, you're a graduate from an Irish college, you're not eligible for this program, okay? If you hold a 1G spousal visa, you may be eligible, but you're not eligible if you were on a stamp 2 visa and are now on a 1G visa. You're not eligible for the program, okay? So just to be aware of that. EU citizen or you hold a stamp 4 visa. Okay, so there's 3 different programs. There's network engineering, software development, and cybersecurity. So just to tell you a little bit about each one. So network engineering, again, it's about the networks, communicating between different buildings or within companies or across countries. So you do a lot of networking servers, there's a good bit of hardware involved, but it's not all hardware either. What you get out of it is, again, you do your City and Guilds Awards and you do 2 industry certifications, which are the CompTIA A+ and the CompTIA Network Plus. So again, network engineering is for people who, want to know or have some knowledge of how computers communicate with each other. They're familiar with LANs and WANs and WLANs and all that. Then if that interests you, then network engineering is for you, okay? Then for software development is about testing and creating code, for programs. So if you're interested in, creating websites, creating apps, creating visually interesting databases, or creating databases in general that can work in conjunction with, online formats, then software development is for you. Again, you'll be looking at a lot of code. Software development is not all coding, but you have to have an interest in programming, in coding to do software development. What you get out of that is you do industry certification, you do your City and Guilds qualifications, you do industry certification. The industry certification with network engineering, it's set. It's the CompTIA A+ and the CompTIA Network Plus. With software development, there's, I think, 4 different streams that you can do. So you can either be doing Python or Java or SQL or HTML and JavaScript, and depending on what stream you go down, depends on how many industry certifications you do. With the software development, the stream that you choose is not just your choice. It's a collaborative decision between you and your company. So, for example, if your company just uses Java, they'll obviously want you to have the Java certification. So that's software development. And then cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is a little bit different. So with the cybersecurity, again, I think people are aware of it. We've actually had quite an upsurge in people applying for cybersecurity because of the HSE breach there a couple of months ago now. It has piqued people's interest and they're looking into it. Our cybersecurity program is quite network focused, but also it's more industry certification focused. So when we went out to companies and we asked them what they wanted in a cybersecurity analyst, they said they wanted the focus to be on industry certification. So the industry certification that you do as part of the cybersecurity program are CompTIA Fundamentals, CompTIA Security Plus, CompTIA Network Plus, CompTIA Security Analyst, and CompTIA Penetration Tester. Okay, so you do 5 industry certifications, and they're quite large certifications, and they're really wanted in the industry. So that's the 3 different programs. So again, it depends on what you're interested in, which program you might consider doing. Again, they're all taught to QQI level 6. You get an advanced certificate level 6 at the end, as well as your City and Guilds qualifications and as well as your industry certification. Again, it is an apprenticeship program, so it is an earn as you learn program. In year 1, the basic payment is €260 per week. And in year 2, then it goes up to €340 per week. Reason being that after the first year of the program, you have 6 months experience working with the company and you've completed some of your exams. So that's they're the payments. So again, different companies will pay different amounts, but these are the basic payments that most companies will pay. It's something to consider, you know, can you afford to do this? It's something that you have to think about yourself. I would say that it's a sacrifice for, you know, a really good introduction to a career in the IT industry. But I mean, that's not practical for everybody. So it's just something for you to think about. Okay, so this is some of the companies that have taken on apprentices. You'll see there's a lot of companies there. We actually have more now. For example, Salesforce have taken, I think, nearly a dozen apprentices of us in the last 12 months or so, some network engineer apprentices and some software development apprentices. So they have to be added to this list, and there are other companies as well. But you'll see that there's a vast array of companies. So I have it split into large organizations, SMEs, which are small and medium enterprises, and the public sector. So, you know, with the large organizations, you can see the companies that maybe you expect to see there, companies I mentioned that are on our board, like Microsoft and Accenture and SAP. But you'll also see companies that aren't like big multinational IT companies like Zurich and Allianz and Deloitte. You know, they're big insurance companies or big auditing companies, big accountancy firms. So, you know, it's just to give you an idea that like these companies obviously have massive IT departments with their own bespoke software and everything like that. So you get an excellent experience, even if you're not in Microsoft, because not obviously we can't place everyone in Microsoft for an apprenticeship program or everybody in Google, you know. But it's just to give you an example. And then the SMEs, obviously the SMEs take a good few apprentices as well. An SME is any company that has less than 250 staff. So that's, you know, they're not necessarily that small. And you mightn't be familiar with the names of a lot of those companies, but you can tell by the names of them that a lot of them are IT companies. And then obviously we have the public sector. So, you know, the central bank take apprentices from us. The ESB very regularly, the county councils, the civil service have done so as well. So there's lots of scope for different experiences. That's just to give you an overview. Also, just be advised, you know, not all companies take all apprentices. So some companies only take software developers, some only take network engineers, cybersecurity. Some take all three, some take 2 out of the 3. Okay, so the application process. So step 1 is that you apply online through our website, www.fit.ie. Once you apply online, you will be called in due course to an information session with me, which is very much like this, but much more in depth. And you then will do aptitude assessments. So step 2 is aptitude assessments. These are online assessments. You'll be given like a few days to do them. They take about 40 minutes to do, but you're given an amount of time to actually complete them. So you don't have to complete them like straight away or anything. And then step 3 is to attend an interview with us. So based on your aptitude assessment results, we'll call you for an interview with us, the FIT team. And we are then looking for like a commitment. We're looking for commitment and that demonstration of interest that I talked about, that passion for the subject that you're applying for. If we think you're a good fit based on your interview with us, we will then do CV prep with you and interview prep, so that when we start sending out CVs to companies, if your CV will you know, appeal to companies and look good in relation to, you know, other people's CVs, so it will be competitive. And then also that, you know, if you are called for interview with a company, which again is not a guarantee, the application process is quite competitive. It's generally a 1 in 5 or 1 in 6 chance of getting placed. So that's that's the way it works. But again, if you come to an information session, I'll explain the application process in more detail than this. This is just an overview. So obviously the last thing there is that you attend an interview with a company, which we will have interview prepped you. Some people need a good bit of interview prep. Some people are just good at interviews, whether because they've practiced before, or some people are just naturally good at interviews. I wish I was one of those people, but most people do need a little help with interview prep, just to give you confidence before you go into a company to interview. And then at the end of the day, it's up to the company to choose who they want to sponsor as an apprentice for the 2 years. So that's me. So just let me stop sharing this. Okay, so that's me. So if you have any questions about anything I've asked, I think there might be a little bit of time for you to ask now, but you can come and visit me at the stand, and you can chat with me, and I'll answer any questions that you have. Okay, so thank you very much. I think back to you, Ruth.
Hi there. Oh, we're just sorting a few bits here. Can you hear me there, Helen, actually?
I can hear you,
oh,
yeah.
There you go. Okay, well, look, well, we're just sorting the camera here, but that was really interesting. Thank you so much for that. And a lot of great information there. Network engineering, software development, and cybersecurity. There we are again. Interesting. You mentioned ethical hacking, and it's funny, I'd heard that term only for the first time this week. Something as well that I heard referred to as a red team, yes, who seem to be to check out a system's security as such. It was just really interesting. And you mentioning the HSE breach, maybe something that piqued somebody's interest, and this could be the right step for them.
Absolutely. Yeah, like, so with ethical hacking, there's a red team and a blue team generally. And the red team is trying to get into the system to figure out weaknesses. And then the blue team is trying to stop people from hacking the system.
That sounds like great crack. I'm sure it's incredibly serious and hard going, but
yes, but I think people do enjoy it because they have these things called hackathons. Like, you know, people are really into this, and you can go to a hackathon and, you know, everybody is competing to see who can hack the system, you know?
Wow.
So, yeah. So,
I honestly, I did not know that that's what a hackathon was. I just thought it was like a group noun for a bunch of IT people, a hackathon of IT experts. Really interesting and good as well to know that, because I know there'll be people of, you know, a broad range of ages watching today, between, you say at the moment, 18 and 50, mid 50s, in fact. Yeah. So this isn't just necessarily, as you say, for straight out of school.
Absolutely not, no. And, you know, like, different companies are looking for different things in an apprentice. So some companies are looking for maybe someone who's straight out of school that has no experience. Yeah. Other companies are looking for people who maybe have a little bit of experience, or even just have like a proven work ethic, you know, behind them, you know, so that they know that they can rely on them. Because when you go into the company, maybe not for the first few weeks, but, you know, you really do become an employee and you really are working. You're not just shadowing someone for 18 months, you know, you're doing the work.
Yeah. I've heard the phrase as well that you hire for attitude and train for skill. Did I get that one right?
That's it, yeah. Okay. And I mean, attitude is so important. It really, really is. If you have the right attitude, you know, and you have the aptitude, you can be trained for anything.
Now, I do have some questions that have been coming in. Thank you to everyone who's been sending in. We're going to run through some of these. Lorena, thank you so much. Lorena, who says, can you let us know if you're having training programs in relation to, oh yeah, so is there an age limit? We sort of touched on that. You did say minimum age is 18.
There's no age limit.
Is there an oldest?
I mean, I think our oldest current is about 54, 55. But I'd say our average age is about 27 or 28.
Okay. Lorena also says as well, are you having any training programs in relation to sustainability and the environment field?
Not apprentices. We run a lot of other courses, or we support a lot of other courses. You'll get information on our website. I think we do have courses like that, but they're not apprenticeship programs. They're just courses.
Okay. Wesley Menezes says, Helen, you've said there's no cost to participate in this program, but is there a test you have to do to participate in it?
Yeah, so there's aptitude assessments are part of the eligibility criteria. Okay.
And Boname Patlong says, hi, Helen, would there be an option to skip to the second year of the program if you already have the CompTIA Security Plus credentials? I'm hoping I read that, the qualification correctly.
Yeah, it sounds, no is the answer. Okay. No, you cannot. If you, we're very clear generally that we're not about placing already qualified people into work placements, okay? We are about training people up and giving them the opportunity to put that training into practice. If you're already qualified, this program is not for you.